Today we're going to talk about using your Facebook page to promote your race team in order to gain fans and to eventually gain sponsors. Now in this video we're going to start off by talking about the strategy behind your Facebook page. Next we'll talk about the mechanics of the Facebook page itself. We'll then look at some examples of some racers who are doing some things right, and then we'll follow that by talking about some do's, some don'ts, and plus I have a couple of fun ideas that you can implement on your Facebook page. So before all of that, if you're wondering who am I and what do I know, my name is Kate Dillon and I run the website CrateInsider.com. I started that business about 4 years ago and I sell race car parts, and I've built my entire business mostly on social media. My company's never been in a magazine or anything in print. Everything's always been online. So this is something I deal with every day, more from a retailer standpoint, and of course I see sponsorship requests as well. But let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing that is, I think, the most critical and most important is, who is your page for? Now, I think there is one person who is so ignored in racing today, and it's unfortunate because that person is that fan in the stands. That is a person that you are talking to on your Facebook page. I mean, and think about it. Think about the very first time that you fell in love with a band or a musical artist, and you know, like they were your hero. They made this amazing music, and you wanted to know everything about them. You wanted to know where they were from. You wanted to know their story. How did they get into doing what they're doing? Well, just take that same rock star mentality to your Facebook page. What do your people want to know about you? I mean, so think about that as a strategy. First and foremost is, who are you talking to? Now you may be asking yourself, well, what does that have to do with sponsors? And we will get to that, but think about, what is a sponsor? What is a sponsor but a super fan? A super fan that wants to give you money. Now, of course, they want something out of it as well, but you're not going to get a sponsor unless they're a fan of yours first. So create that environment on your Facebook page. And I see so many of these. I've looked at lots of racing Facebook pages lately, and there's so much of take, like vote for me, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. And they've provided, like, there's no thank yous to sponsors, there's no thank yous to fans, but then there's this great expectation to do for me, do for me, do for me, this is all about me. And really think about racing. I know if you just wanted to race, if you just want to drive a car fast, then sure, build an oval in somebody's backyard. But to be a racer today, it is all encompassing with fans and sponsors and racetracks and yourself. And so those are the things that you can bring together on your Facebook page. Now let's go ahead and look at some of the actual mechanics of a Facebook page. And I've put together a sheet for you guys, a checklist that you'll be able to download. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description. If you're watching this on Facebook, it's probably just right in the description of the video. But the very first thing I'm going to tell you is with your Facebook page, once you have 25 likes, you can change your URL, which is your web address. So that way it can be facebook.com/yourraceteam. When you first create your page, it's going to be like facebook.com/yourraceteam with like 12 numbers behind it, and that you can't promote. And you're going to want to use that as a promotional tool to be able to tell people that, hey, follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/ and your race team's name. So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you to look at. Second is, pay a lot of attention to the about section. Make sure you put in where you are, where you're from. You want to put in your website if you've got it. If you're on other social media platforms, if you have maybe a YouTube channel or an Instagram account, and make sure you add all of those things. And you may even consider putting a phone number in there too, which would be important. You know, it's not that fans are going to be calling so much, but if a sponsor wanted to get a hold of you, it's very professional to go ahead and put your phone number there as well. Now there's a new section in this about area that I really just kind of ran across here recently, and I'm going to tell you that mine isn't even filled out, so I am telling you something new. But I think it used to be called long description, but now it's called story. And the fact that it's called story means that it's a huge opportunity. This is a place where you can put in, craft this well. Tell people who you are. What is it about you that's special? Maybe you're a young racer, or maybe you're third generation, or maybe you're female, or whatever your thing is, put that in there. Put in there why you race, why it's important to you. All of those things, that's what's really going to create this well-rounded person. Because let's be honest here, that being a fan of a race team isn't about the car. And I see a whole lot of cars, and it's not about the cars. There's a huge disconnect right now that I'm seeing in the racing world. And I grew up in racing. I remember there were programs in the stands, and I'm not bashing anyone by the fact that there aren't programs. But when you're a fan in the stands and it's your first time there, and you look down at that track, there's no human connection. We could be looking at remote control cars. So how do we humanize this? And your story is one of the most important things. So take advantage of this area. And that I think is going to be a great thing. Now, the next thing you'll want to look at is your cover art. And I see a lot of cover art, and this isn't racing pages, this is just all across the board, where the cover art is that rectangle at the very top. And I see people using just regular pictures, and then part of it's cut off and it's not right. And there are some tools that you can use in order to try to make sure that your cover art is that size. And you can use Canva.com, for instance, is a free service, or if you know someone that does Photoshop, of course, is an option as well. But you want to make sure that your cover art, that take advantage of that space, because that's when somebody is actually on your page. And so maybe you even want to put like races every Saturday night at Main Street Speedway. Of course, I'm just making something up. Whatever it is that you can put a message on there even, or maybe it's just showing your car with a whole bunch of other cars and showing that excitement for racing. But check your cover photo both on a desktop, and then also take a look at your Facebook page on a phone or a mobile device or a tablet to make sure that it's translating well on both of those platforms. The next thing would be your profile picture. Now, it is my opinion, because as you said, or as you heard me say a moment ago, we want to humanize the sport. I would encourage you to use the profile pic section to have a picture of you as a person rather than just your car. Because is your race team about your car, or is it about you? And I would say that it's about you. And there's a great opportunity there to have a picture of yourself, probably in your driver's suit, maybe in your car. I mean, there's lots of possibilities there, but I would encourage you to have your face as part of that profile picture. Now, the content that you want to share on here, I really am going to go into this in another section but of course, write to your audience, write to your fans, and talk to them as your friends. I think that there's a general misconception about maybe looking at NASCAR, like you're supposed to be this plastic little Ken doll that is in a commercial. Truthfully, that's just not reality anymore, and that's not how you're going to create personal connections with people. You want to be authentic. You want to be real. You want to talk to people as your friend. Some other content you can put is behind the scenes. People love seeing like what's going on in the shop. You can also start conversations. Talk with people about, well, gosh, I've seen where people say, hey, which of these wrap ideas is better, or which of these t-shirts are better, or what's your favorite thing for concessions at such and such a track. There's a lot of ways to start conversations, and if you can do that, it's also going to make your Facebook be seen by more people. And that's really Facebook pages are a challenge these days in order to even be seen. It's something that, as a business, I certainly am well aware of, and I'm sure with a race team it's probably even harder. So how do you split up your posts? And I would say I just ran across this rule the other day. It's called the 70-20-10 rule. So 70% of your content, you want it to add value to your brand or add value to someone's life. 20% of your content you can share from other sources. And in fact, this is part of what I call building a big tent. This is the strategy I call it, is building a big tent, is share those racetrack posts, about a race coming up. If you see one of your sponsors or a product that you use, you see them have a post on Facebook, share that onto your Facebook page. Especially any of your sponsors, you want to make sure that you're sharing that content. So again, 70% of your own brand building content, 20% from other people, and then 10% would be the asking portion of it. Basically, you want to give, and then maybe ask, and not necessarily expect anything in return. In comparison to what I've seen here recently, I think it's Valvoline currently, before that it was Champion, the vote for me, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. I mean, it was almost ridiculous how many of those I was seeing. And you've earned that if over the course of time you have been give. I would also say that gratitude could certainly be your biggest super weapon in all of this. Be grateful. Be grateful for every one of those fans that goes to your page. Be grateful for every sponsor who wants to give you anything, even the time of day. Be grateful for every interview and share those types of moments as well. And then you just want to build a community, and that's part of what I was saying with the big tent. So now with that being said, let me talk about commenting too. Here's a big mistake I see on not necessarily racing pages, but I see it on business after business. My gosh, if somebody leaves a comment with a question, answer it. Period. Answer it. If somebody sends you a private message, reply to them. I mean, I can't even tell you how frustrating it is. I have contacted companies for one reason or another, and of course, they've got the automated message, which I do too, that says, hey, we respond to our comments as soon as possible, except I actually do. I think I've maybe missed one out of the last 1,000 that just kind of got lost in the inbox. But this isn't about just talking at your audience. You're not a news company that's just talking at. This is not like television where it's a commercial. You are on social media to have conversations, which means two people talking back and forth. And I see this is just the biggest disconnect throughout social media, and where there's a huge missed opportunity. So now let's take a look at a few Facebook pages that I've taken a look at before this, and some good things that they're doing, and you can use as an example. And then when we're done with that, then we'll talk about some other do's and don'ts. So let's move on over to Facebook here. All right, so this first page we're looking at, here we've got Mike Chastain Jr., Race Media, and I see here they've done some good things with their cover art, and I'm going to click on it. Now it's probably, see, they actually planned it out that it was supposed to be this size, which is nice. One thing that is an opportunity here is you could put a description, and that way you could even invite some feedback. Same way with the profile picture. It's not exactly him personally, it's him in a car, which is fine, because then we're telling the whole story, where here's a driver, he drives the number 40, it's clearly a modified. And once again, there's an opportunity here to add a description so people can leave comments on that. But what I liked about his page is he's involving his audience. We're just going to look at posts over here. And gosh, my computer hates me. So here we've got the reveal of we're going back in time. There's the reveal, but before this, how clever is this? I love this. Here's we're going to be releasing a full proof. So it gives you that little bit of suspicion and makes it kind of fun. I really liked this here, where this is obviously a sponsor, and they shared their post right over here. So some of the things that we've been talking about, and here's a little behind the scenes video. I mean, that's fantastic. I will tell you that video is one of the most important things that you can do today on Facebook in order to be seen. All right, now let's look at another page. This is Mandy Chick. I've known this girl for a few years. She actually came up to me at PRI, and I think she's quite the marketing genius over here with what she does in for her race team. But I mean, here's a neat take on this. Here we've got Motivation Monday. Oh, let's go back. We've got obviously a well-planned cover photo. We have her profile picture, which is her and her face, and so we can identify she's a race car driver. She has a racing suit on, and there's her face. And then here we've got Motivation Monday. You can tell that she wants to personally connect with her audience and that she's not just about a car. However, there is a car, and here's a huge trick that you guys can use for really building that, no idea what's happening there, to really build that team type of a concept here. So here we've got her car, and she's calling out Van Doom Racing Development, JEGS, Champion, Birch Run Speedway, Bristol Motor Speedway. She's bringing it all in there, and they're being copied or they're being tagged in those posts, which a lot of times is a flag. If I see someone's tagged Crate Insider in a post, that may be a post I'm going to share because, you know, hey, companies are just like you as a racer. You love to be mentioned. We all do. We all love the attention. Let's just admit that that's what it is. And we're all fighting for attention on social media platforms. So when somebody calls us out, you know, hey, be all over that. If I had been tagged in this, I would, probably leave a comment like, hey, congratulations, or it's great working with you, or whatever the case may be. And that's a really smart post there. We've got a little bit more behind the scenes, good stuff here. And there's a few personal things, again, behind the scenes, which we're going to see a lot of behind the scenes this time of year. But here's something fun where she was having people guess where she was going to college. And here she's got her Starbucks cup, and you can just feel that personal connection with her. So for the next page, let's take a look at Kyle Steffens Motorsports. Now, this page, what really caught my attention, we're going to get down there to a post that I saw right here, is this racer has a video. It was shot by his sponsor, the St. Louis Dirt Track Racing, but here he is talking. So he's a person who talks about his race team. I think this is brilliant, and it's a fantastic way of telling your story. This may be even something that you would want to pin to the top, but this is a great introduction if someone was there at the first time. But let's take a look at a couple of the other posts here. Here's a thank you. Gained about 100 followers overnight. Thank you all. I'm going to tell you, I thank you. Those are my two favorite words in the English language, and they're completely underused. So here we've got some behind the scenes, more behind the scenes, and now we've got a t-shirt that you can buy. So we can see it's like give, and then ask, if you'd like to buy a t-shirt, here you go. And this was his YouTube channel, actually. That's great. Oh my gosh, I love to see it. I thought he was selling t-shirts because, of course, I'm just glancing at this while I'm talking through it. Now, speaking of thank you, this page came to my attention. I actually know Chris Ferguson. He's probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in person. I mean, I'm talking like kindergarten teacher nice. Such a nice guy. But what so impressed me with Chris's page is I see gratitude in nearly every single post. What I love here is he's talking about where he's racing. He's sharing the Fayetteville Motor Speedway's post. See, that's part of that 70-20-10 we were talking about. This is part of that 20% of sharing. Hey, I'm going to be there and look at this, be at this race. But down here, here again, you go to the brand new one because he's grateful for Champion Parts and just calling him out. And I really wanted to get some of these gratitude posts in here because there's one in here, for instance, where he's thanking his mom for running the souvenir trailer, and it's really cool. Now, some of you guys might even have help with your Facebook page, and something that this page does that's really smart is that when Chris's mom, Allison, makes a post, she'll actually sign her name and say Allison, so it's pretty clear who's writing the post. But there's so much gratitude for a sponsor. Here's a post right here, happy birthday to my sponsor, and that's really cool. It's more than just I've seen lots of racing pages lately where it's like, hey, thank you, sponsor, for this thing. And that's like the last you're ever going to see that sponsor, like ever. So, use these opportunities to thank people. I really just cannot emphasize that enough. And when we take a look again with we didn't look at that on Kyle's, but on Chris's, you can see he's clearly a person in his profile picture. Let's take a look at the top here and take a look at his cover photo is great. There's a victory lane photo. That's a nice touch right there too. So now that we've looked at some examples, let's talk about some do's, some don'ts, and a couple of posting ideas. So you've seen some ideas from these examples that we've looked at. So do share behind the scenes. Do show some personal things like Mandy and showing her Starbucks cup and talking about college, or Chris and is picking out a pressure washer. Those make you personal. Do make sure that you're calling out racetracks that you're going to be racing at. Do it beforehand. Even do it afterwards too, and talk about the great time that you had. I mean, one post that would be, this is just kind of a random idea, but maybe it's you having a hot dog from the concession stand at a track talking to a fan. That says so much about you're at the racetrack, and you can mention it and you're like, hey, I love the hot dogs at Fayetteville Speedway, and I like mine with ketchup and mustard and relish. What do you like on your hot dog? That sounds kind of ridiculous, but it is a way that people want to know what your favorite color what kind of colors you like, what your favorite flavor of ice cream is, because keep in mind, you are going to be a hero to somebody. A hero. And people want to know everything about their heroes, and go ahead and share some of that information. But at the same time, what are you doing? You're showing that you are friendly with fans, and you're showing support for the racetrack. And let's talk about a don't right now, because we need to end the racetrack bashing, and it needs to end now. Because just what I'm seeing here recently is I see where people are like, oh, social media is killing racing. No, social media is not killing racing. That's like saying guns kill people. Guns do not kill people. People kill people. Social media does not kill racing. People on social media kill racing. If you, as a racer, have any issue with a track, I will recommend to you that you talk directly in a private conversation, whether that is on the phone, text messages, private messages on Facebook, direct messages on Instagram. I don't care how you talk to them, but you don't do it publicly. Because I know as an outsider, I've seen, because I have customers all over the place, obviously, and I don't get to all of these tracks, but I've seen some tracks so beat up over on social media, and I just want to even throw in there sometimes, be like, oh wow, I've never been to that track, but obviously it looks like I would never want to go there, because that is exactly what you're doing. And again, what is racing about? Who is racing for? It is not for you, it is for the fans. And that is the one thing, one person that keeps getting ignored. So if you don't like a track, talk with them directly. I'm so going to try not to swear. Or stay home. Keep it off your page, keep it off your personal stuff, and keep it off of the track's website. That is not the place for it. We are here to grow racing, because those tracks continue to get beat up like that, or sanctioning bodies. I don't care. Don't be a jerk. Oh my gosh, I did that without swearing. I can't believe it. So, and I have a great idea, something that I haven't seen. Well, first of all, I'd never seen a video about erasers and how you can manage a Facebook page. So this is hopefully the first video of its type. But something else that I don't see is I haven't seen any videos with racers unboxing parts. And I just think there's a huge opportunity there. I know that I do unboxing videos for like camera equipment and that type of thing. And it's just shocking to me that I've never seen them for race car parts. And I just want to put something forward to you guys, because it's all about paying it forward. It used to be that sponsors, you could just call them up and be like, hey, I win a lot of races, give me stuff. And they'd be like, oh, yay, okay, we totally will. Well, here's what happened. There are a lot of racers that came before you that ruined it. So it's made it a lot harder for you, but I'll give you some ideas on what you can do about that. I can tell you now that I started my company, I mentioned earlier, I started with like 30 products, and now I'm up to over 500. I sell lots and lots of race car parts. And when I first started, I begged people to let me be a dealer. And I've done so many videos at this point about race car parts, and my name's gotten known, or not my name, but my company's name's gotten known. And now companies call me. And I mean, they don't say like, hey, Kate, we want to work with you because we want you to make a video. But they want me to make a video. I mean, because anything I touch is pretty much going to turn into a video anymore. But, I'm just thinking, like, let's just lay this out for a moment. Think about this. If maybe you get a drive shaft, right? And this drive shaft comes in the mail and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and shoot an unboxing video. So you bring out your phone. It's all you need is a phone. Tripod would be great, but you can also just lean your phone against stuff. And please, for the love of God, make rectangle videos. Don't make vertical ones. But anyway, you unbox this drive shaft. While you're unboxing it, you're talking about, hey, I picked this drive shaft because of this, this, and this. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the drive shaft, and you shoot how you're going to install the drive shaft. Then maybe even show where the car is going a couple of laps around the racetrack, and you come back on that video to say, wow, it was really smooth. I'm really glad I picked this drive shaft. Now, you didn't get that drive shaft for free. You bought it, but you're going to put that video up on Facebook or YouTube or both. You're going to tag that company. You're going to say, thank you for making such an awesome product. Do you not think that company is going to think you're a hero? What happens next year when they're thinking about their sponsorship? And they don't owe you anything. So I'm not trying to be all scammy here. I'm just saying, hey, make videos, help that next guy that maybe doesn't know as much as you. Give that information freely. And, of course, you're going to have your secrets, but just think about it. I mean, think about it. Those companies, being called out like that that's a huge thing. I would love it. I mean, I don't really make much. I mean, there's just a couple products that are Crate Insider branded, but I think it would be awesome. So I'm sure you can see where that would be an awesome idea and a huge opportunity. Again, not owing you anything, but it would be certainly an opportunity. So just pay it forward is my biggest thing. Now, if you'd like to download this Facebook page checklist, just follow the link and you'll put in your email address. You'll have access to it through your email, and we'll get you all set up for success. If you like this video and you'd like me to do more content like this, please leave a comment in the comments below. And seriously, this is something I could talk about for the next 6 hours. So it's really, really hard for me to even make I know this video is long already, and I apologize. This is about as short as I can make it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, feel free to share it or tag a friend in it. And if you're over on YouTube, I'd love for you to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and man, I'd love to see some comments because hey, I love to help you guys out. I'm here to help grow the sport, and I thank you so much for watching.